general maintenance, nothing too onerous. These houses can stand for 100 years. Lots of houses are still for double that. Old houses, that are still around after 200 years.
I'd like to come in here, Peter. Actually, before concrete was invented, this is 150 years, a lot of building equipment was wood and stone. There are a lot of chemicals in the various countries, in Japan especially, which are very, very old, and they're still in good shape, and they will last for still still a couple of centuries. That's what I was told. Absolutely. So wood has been there before. It's not a new invention. I want to clarify that we are reinventing. It was as a building material even before concrete was invented. And a lot of palaces and temples were built out of wood, and which are still in good shape and still existing. Yes, thank you.
I would say very well put. I mean, wood is not new. In fact, wood was there before concrete came. So we are just going back to where we started, back to the future. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. We have a next question from Nikita. She's asking if wood homes are fire resistant. And there was one more gentleman who asked whether they were termite protected. So if you could throw some light on that, Mr. Trevor and Peter. And also asking if we could share information on what are the benefits of wood over other materials.
So I would leave answering the first two questions to my colleague Peter Bradley. The answer to the last part. Can you repeat the last part?
What are the benefits of wood versus the other materials?
Oh, the benefit of woods have been enumerated, I think, plenty of times by me in my briefing with the press. It is very quick to build. As Peter mentioned a little while ago, we probably can build 4 wooden houses of the same size and dimension in the time taken to build one. It also does not take much to finish the house from within, because to finish a concrete house from within takes even longer. That's one part of it. So there's a huge lot of, I would say, opportunity cost saved when you do a project that quick and early. The other is the health benefits. Wood is very, very, living in a wooden house is much healthier considered to be than living in concrete, glass and steel. The other thing is, and this is not what I'm saying, please don't have to take words which we speak, but go on to the Google and ask Uncle Google to tell you everything. The other thing is, I would say that wood has many other benefits. It's beautiful, it's lovely.
Energy efficient.
Yes.
Carbon negative is a very big thing also. Carbon negative.
I was just coming to that. Yes, it's energy efficient in the sense that it insulates both heat and cold. So you don't have to spend too much money doing precious dollars in air conditioning or warming up the place. Then yes, what Dr. Nasir just mentioned, the carbon footprint is much lower in making a wooden building. So there are multiple benefits of wood.
I just actually jotted down a few dot points on this, and just to be brief, in every case, wood allows prefabrication, easy transportation, a light footprint, as Nasir just mentioned, a big savings on footings and foundations. With wood, it's quick to build, it's easy to work with, it's easy on the tools, it's easy to handle on site, it's eco-friendly, it's also energy efficient, as I mentioned, easy to modify during and after construction. It's suited to steep and forested sites, but equally the home on the beach. It offers seasoning performance, look and feel, and health benefits. And I could go on. That's just a few things I've jotted down while we've been talking. So, in terms of features and benefits, there are many features and benefits we can enumerate in terms of.
It's also biodegradable and recyclable.
Absolutely, yeah, fantastic. And many architects love to use recycled wood, and it's a huge trend in North America these days too. In terms of termites, the fact is termites generally wood is their food source. There are some species that are naturally durable termites. For instance, teak in India is naturally durable. Two of the species that maybe woodhoppers in India, western red cedar and yellow cedar, are naturally termite resistant. But no matter what you do, when you build a structure using wood, and dare I say, even if you're building a structure in concrete, we need to mitigate against termites and insect infestation. So the first thing we do is we chemically treat the site, and there are some environmentally friendly chemicals that we can use to treat the earth and the soil and the actual site itself. Then above that, we use a physical barrier to discourage termites. So in the case of this house, for instance, we have a concrete foundation and concrete footings. Before the concrete foundation is poured, we put down a plastic waterproof sheet so to keep moisture away from the concrete. Then we use a concrete curb wall above the ground level, so that if the termites somehow get to the concrete and build their tunnels vertically up the concrete foundation, you can see them coming, so you can mitigate them physically. Then on top of the concrete foundation, we use a metal flashing called a termite flashing, which again discourages and doesn't enable termites to make their way to them. Then on top of that, the base plate of the house that we're building here is chemically treated, pressure treated wood. That's the base plate. The termites won't attack that treatment. So there's many different barriers to the termites that we build into the design. And so the bottom line is it's all about design. And then it's about maintenance and just visual monitoring. So definitely we can manage the termites. And this happens all over the world. India certainly has a major problem with termites, as do most of Asia. We can take care of that through those measures that I mentioned. In terms of fire risk, yes, timber's at risk, in a full frontal fire we see these days in California and Australia, timber structures along with. So what do? We have to mitigate the surrounding area. We have to make sure that we don't have forested and grassy areas right up against the building. If we're using large sections of wood, through independent testing and scientific testing, we know that the wood will char. It doesn't necessarily burn to destruction, but the outside of the building will char. It actually self-extinguishes and then forms a natural barrier against the flame. But more often than not, the house fires that we hear of mostly are internal fires. And most of the deaths in house fires are from smoke, not from flames, unfortunately. And a lot of that smoke is generated by the contents of the house. So what we have to do with all buildings, including timber buildings, we have to mitigate that risk. So with the timber frame building, we have an insulation in the wall, which is fire resistant. Typically on the internal walls, we use gypsum product or cement fiberboard, which is again another layer of fire resistance. Then within the insulated walls, we use horizontal pieces of wood, which isolate the different areas of the house as we go up from any flame spring. And then within the house itself, we have smoke alarm systems and alarm systems and fire extinguishers, that kind of thing. So there's all sorts of different scenarios that we can imagine for a fire. But typically, timber frame house, we're building, such as we're building here at BTR Greens, will withstand that fire. And the most important thing is that the frame, the structure, will withstand the fire in a pit long enough to allow the occupants to escape. So a typical fire test in the laboratory, that wall system that we're testing, that timber wall system, or the door and window system in timber that we are testing, it must give the occupants at least 2 hours to escape the building. So it has to allow the fire to pass. If it's burning, it has to be able to withstand that burning for 2 hour period. So, in fact, Douglas Fir is a producer in, I think, in Delhi. It's making door frames and doors from Douglas Fir, imported from Canada. Recently had those doors and frames fire tested and fire rated. So there's a lot I can talk about there, but in general, yes, fire risk is important and it's been taken into consideration, and mitigations again incorporated in the design.
Apart from the 2 hour extra time which a wooden structure would give to the people who escape in case of conflagration, I would like to share one picture I've seen very recently, and it's probably available somewhere on the net if one can Google it. I'm not remembering the exact site where they showed a building burnt down completely, and they had some internal shots of that building taken, where a big, tall beam of steel had almost melted, twisted, and almost half fallen onto a wooden beam which was charred but still standing there. So it was that wooden beam was supporting the twisted, melted steel beam which had fallen on it.
So that's a picture we should show on our website.
Yes, yeah, I think I should have got that included in one of our videos here. Probably that would have answered a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but yes, wood is certainly what do you call, as Peter mentioned, when the fire takes place, it has charring on its outside, which self-extinguishes flames to a large extent. Until others, the conflagration is so huge that we consume the whole thing. And for that matter, we know for sure that even the World Trade Towers made of concrete and steel, they crumbled not because of the impact of the 2 aircraft which slammed into it, but it's the heat caused with the fire which engulfed those towers and made those towers raise to the ground. So I hope this answers the questions to an extent.
Yes, thank you. In interest of time, we're going to take last 2 questions now. This is from Renu Rajaram. That just put a lot of interesting questions here. Locally available wood like birch or pine is used in Kashmir, Jammu, Himachal and other northern states due to cold weather conditions. Will Canadian wood be a cheaper and sustainable substitute?
So let me answer that first before we get into the next question or my colleagues. The Indian conifers have been in use for a fairly long time. Chir, Gam, Deodhar, etc. These are the Indian conifers which were very well in use till a few decades ago. And as I mentioned in my briefing to the press, that we lost out a lot of our forest cover because of rampant logging, and they deforested this country a lot. And we lost a lot of forest cover because of unregulated logging and harvesting of forests. As a result of which, the government has actually put a ban, or I would say the logging is restricted in our country. You cannot just go in and do the same kind of harvesting of trees as it is being done in other countries like Canada, etc., which have got abundance of forests. Incidentally, our forest cover is minuscule compared to that of Canada, and I would say Canada, which is 10 times the area size of India, with a population which is probably 1/10 of India, and it has practically, you could say, 10%, over 10% of the world's total forest cover. So it can, with sustainable forest management, be a long-term source of sustainable forestry, can ensure a long-term source to India of sustainable and certified wood. So I would say that though it can use Indian woods or the Indian species, but they are restricted by the government as of now, and at least if I know correctly, they'll stay restricted for harvesting for quite some time more, and because India has just about started to recover its forest cover. In fact, till about 3 years ago, we were losing forest cover every year. And in fact, now at least there's come to a stage with government's planning deforestation. At least India's forest has stopped degrowing. And it takes some more years before it starts growing again and the forest cover increases. Till such time, India will have to depend on imported wood to meet its needs. Yes, yes.
I think what I've learned from the location they harvest less than 1% of forest every year. At this rate, any forest will last for more than 200 years. So that's
Actually, it's 1% of our commercial forest. I think that people don't realise that the government of Canada has set aside vast areas of the forest which are not to be used for energy, they're purely for wildlife, for public access, for bird life, for streams, for preservation, for parks. So that's all set aside. So when we talk about 1% it's 1% of the commercial forest. So that's even more important.
this rate will last for, I don't understand, for
Yes. I mean, at the moment we're 0% deforested. So if we can manage to continue our current practices, and there's no reason 0%